thanks, listeners, for joining us. Elko Live today is our monthly update in the Terrace at Ruby View news. Of course, the Terrace is our senior and active lifestyle center, and we're always pleased to welcome Matt McCarty, the center's executive director, in today. Thanks, Matt, for being here. It's great to sit across from you.
Yes, ma'am. It's always a pleasure to be here. We always appreciate the time. Thank you for allowing us to talk to your listeners about what's happening at their senior center and give us that opportunity to also plug a few different partners and other folks that we have.
You know, I'm glad you said that because I was just noticing I got some social media from the Northeastern Nevada Museum, and they posted some early photos of the original Elko City Golf Course. And the reason that was significant is that when the golf course was relocated because the interstate came through, that left Howard's on the hill, which then became the first senior center.
That's right.
Right? Isn't that cool?
Absolutely. It is cool. It is interesting. And we've been in this building where we are now for 22, 23 years, something like that. Maybe it's even 24 years. But it is interesting for folks that are newer to our area or who've never known the senior center in a different location. And so it is interesting when somebody says, "Oh, the old senior center," and they'll say, "Oh, this isn't always been the senior center."
This isn't the old senior center, yeah. That's great. And then thinking about the legacy, of course, that the people who have gone on now, some obviously we're still hanging in, those who were, at bat for the new center, but people who made this new center a reality, Matt. And it's great to continue their legacy because you're even looking at updating the building and possibly expanding in the near future.
Absolutely. We have gotten to that point where we've outgrown where we are at. And we have parking issues, especially on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are typically a really popular day. So especially on Wednesdays, we've outgrown our parking area. Thursdays are popular days. But then we've also run into issues even today. Every single one of our auxiliary rooms is full, and we still had somebody waiting to get in. So we kind of stack them up, and it's like the airports when there's a tower or something, and you can see all the airplanes circling the tower waiting to be able to get their landing zone. And that's kind of what it's like sometimes at the center. And so we are looking at how do we make it better and more long lasting for the future. When we look at this expansion or even possibly a new building, relocating to a different area and building again a bigger center, how do we do that so that another 25 years from now, we still have a good sound building?
Well, that's great, Matt, and it's wonderful to be having these discussions, including the community. You do get county support for this, city support, a lot of different agencies, certainly statewide and even federal, but it's a local senior center, and it's guided by a local board of directors.
It is, absolutely. We have a wonderful board of directors, and they do a terrific job. We will have an opening coming up on our board of directors. We have one of our board of directors who's going to be resigning and taking time to travel, and so we're happy for her. So we will have an opening if somebody would like to come aboard and join the board. But we do have our chair of the board is Jennifer Roberson, who of course is the construction manager over at Ormaza, and Cindy Heislop, who's retired from Great Basin College. She's our vice chair. Our treasurer is Katrinka Russell, our previous assessor. No. She wasn't county clerk. Maybe it was county assessor.
I thought she was the assessor.
Yes. County
Janet
assessor.
Irabarn has that job now. Yes. Okay, good.
Yep, absolutely.
You
Sorry.
threw me for a loop.
That's what I have so much stuff running through the head that I forget about things. Monica Wright-Cosgarat, who also had the dance studio, and not the dance studio, but a dance studio. And she is still very involved in helping with decoration and everything else, and so that's great. Marcia Davis, who used to own the Hotel Lamoille, and then we also have Brian Riley, who is a retired restaurateur and food and beverage manager, had some experience in media as well, and then Billie Jean Crawford, who is with Horizon Hospice. So those are our 7 current board members. They do an amazing job, and yes, they're all local, and 5 of them are retired. So,
Wow, fantastic.
or at least of the age that they are
They're
members
still busy
as well. But
They're
they are still
busy, yes.
still busy, yes.
So if you think you would fit in with that group or you'd like to know more, I mean, these meetings are also open to the public. You can come and sit in, and it's just a great group.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Yeah, we meet once a month. It's usually about a 2.5 hour meeting. It's pretty easy, but we're always open, and anybody that has any questions, I'm happy to visit with them.
Sounds great, Matt. Thank you. Matt, of course, McCarty is Executive Director of the Terrace at Ruby View, 775-738-3030. Or I'm sure you can zip out an email if you want to do it that way, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the email address is terracedirector@elkoseniors.org. That S at the end is important. Otherwise, it doesn't quite get to us. And, of course, anybody can stop by the Senior Center as well. We'd love to have them out there. And that's at 1795 Ruby View Drive. So we'd love to have somebody come and visit to see what the center is if they've never been there, and join us for lunch, because we think we have a pretty darn good lunch program as well.
11:30 to 12:45 Monday through Friday, except with holidays, obviously, but you try to make that up with maybe a breakfast or even a take-home meal. Speaking of, how are things going now that summer's arrived, Matt?
Great. It's going well. We do know that we have folks that don't typically come in the summer because they're busy doing other things on the summer side, but we also have our snowbirds who have returned. And so that's great as well. So we do have a good, nice, healthy amount of folks that we're still serving meals to. We're appreciative that they trust their nutrition to us and that we're able to help them out a little bit. And you mentioned holidays. I want to make sure that everyone knows, with Independence Day coming up just next week, we are going to be closed on both Thursday and Friday. In fact, we actually kind of took a show of hands and said, how many folks are going to be gone for Friday the 5th? How many are going to actually come in? And overwhelmingly, the response was, don't open on the 5th because we're just not going to be here. So don't waste the money on it. So we'll be closed both Thursday the 4th and Friday the 5th of July, which means, to your point earlier about breakfast, we'll have breakfast on Wednesday the 3rd. And that'll be shifted everything 2 hours earlier. So in the dining room, it'll be 9:30 to 10:45, and our drive-through option will be 8:45 to 9:15.
And always remember that seniors or anybody who's joining for a meal, you can take leftovers now, because that used to be an issue, but now you can take leftovers home.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's best if you bring your own container, but if you don't have a container, then we have little styrofoam to-go containers. We do sell them for 50 cents. So you're welcome to do that. But yes, bring your own container if you want something to go. Today was an egg salad bagel with soup. So we almost always get folks that bring in soup, and we don't have leftover soup because they just empty those crocks as soon as we know that everyone has gone through. And at Scouts we say we're calling seconds. They don't give us the chance to even call for seconds. They know as soon as that last person goes through the line, they're up there and they're dishing up their soup to take it home.
Awesome. So feeding seniors and guests alike at the Terrace at Ruby View. So make sure, check the website if you need to, elkoseniors.org. And I did want to mention while we were on the subject that it looks as though you're hiring for a KitchenAid Meals on Wheels driver at the Elko County website.
Yeah, we're also hiring. So we're hiring for the KitchenAid Meals on Wheels driver, and that's because we are starting a second route in Spring Creek. We've been talking about it for a long time, but we want to get that filled, and so we do have a position that's open right now. And in fact, we're actually going to start interviews. So if you are interested, go to the Elko County website. All applications have to be submitted through Elko County. So please get your website in today, because we're interviewing tomorrow. And if we know that we have somebody that comes in that's interested in the position, then we can not make that decision tomorrow. And don't worry, you don't have to be available for an interview tomorrow. If you're not available for an interview tomorrow and you're maybe not available until Friday or Monday, we can make that work. We just want to have all applicants in as soon as possible. And then we also have a substitute driver. And this one's kind of more of an ongoing, if you are interested in that. These are positions that help fill in for our regular drivers. When our regular drivers are on vacation, or if they're taking a day, or if they're sick, then we don't have a backup. So these are the folks that we call in and we say, hey, can you drive for us? Many places have a voluntary staff that does all of the Meals on Wheels. We can't due to liability. It's a county vehicle, so we have to make sure that it's a county employee that's driving that. So we can't just call on volunteers to say, who wants to drive today? We need to be able to plan in advance. And so that's why that substitute driver is in there. If anyone's interested, please let us know.
Well, and again, terrific news. Thanks for the attention and the care for the Spring Creek area senior citizens and that you're expanding there. That's wonderful news.
It is wonderful. We still want more folks in Spring Creek. Splitting it up now is basically 1 page each instead of 3 pages. But what we can do is still have plenty of room in there. We've had is it Sunset Ridge, I think, is the track 102 there by the Corey stoplight. That's all one route just on its own. And then the second route goes out towards the Horse Palace and out towards Marina Hills, etc. So
it's quite spread out. But again, that's a great position to fill, Matt, and it's really responding to a need as our area residents are retiring and some of them are homebound. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just, I want to make sure that folks know that it's not just for the homebound person. For example, we have somebody who he actually just came in today, but his wife fell and broke her pelvis fairly severely. And she's now homebound. He, as many traditional folks of this age, he's not a domestic person, and so he doesn't cook well, and he's actually ended up losing a lot of weight because while she was not at home, he just wasn't eating. And that's not healthy. We don't want that. And so we can deliver to folks like that as well. Let us know. We can get that arranged. And so then now she can get meals and he can get meals as well.
Oh, that's great, Matt. Thank you again. And that's one thing about our Terrace at Ruby View, the Senior and Active Lifestyle Center, is that you meet people where they are. Obviously, you want to hear people's concerns. Like you said, if there's a temporary disability, if someone's just concerned about a neighbor, if maybe someone doesn't have air conditioning, or you're concerned about their condition, you can call the Terrace and speak to someone there, and then get some help and not be in an invasive way. Matt?
Absolutely. And I mentioned at the beginning of the program that we like to do shout outs for our partners, and that's really what it is. We don't have all of the answers. We don't have all of the durable medical equipment or even, like you had mentioned, air conditioning or fans, but we have connections with other different folks that we try to reach out to. And in fact, just earlier this week, we reached out to April Howard with Just Serve through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And we said, through Just Serve, can you post a need for box fans and oscillating fans? We have folks that don't have any air conditioner, or perhaps their air conditioning has failed, and so they need a temporary relief. We don't have these type of appliances. It's not quite an appliance, but these type of items, devices that may be needed for some of our folks. And so Miss Howard and the rest of the Just Serve team are so good about responding. And so we think we'll be able to get some of those so that if a senior needs some help with keeping cool this summer, because it's definitely hot, we want to make sure that we can help with that.
Oh, that's great. JustServe.org is the website. So anybody listening who said, oh my gosh, I can pick up a fan, or I've got something, or, our organization can help, go to JustServe.org, and then you can help fill that need. Terrific.
Absolutely. I also want to talk about, if I may.
Oh, please. I saw that flyer.
Partner.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the RNDC, the Rural Nevada Development Corporation, is looking specifically for those that are 60 and better, and to help with winterization, but also summer insulation, so to speak. They want to make sure that the houses are as energy efficient as possible. And they have the ability to, with different grants, to potentially have free winterization and weatherization. And so we want folks to know that that if somebody would like some help with that or some assistance, the Senior Center can help with that. We can get that information, make that connection to RNDC. RNDC, that's right. I thought I had it wrong backwards there for a minute. But yes, the RNDC, and we want to make sure that folks are aware of that if you would like some help with weatherization, if you think maybe it's a bit drafty in the winter, or perhaps there are some things that might be able to be done in the summer to keep your house better insulated on both sides, then RNDC may be able to help. I don't know that they're going to be able to say, oh yeah, here, let me install a fireplace, or here's a new centralized air conditioner, a big window swamp cooler. But they'll certainly be able to help walk you through what they can provide, so that you and whoever else may still be in your house are more comfortable in our various weather patterns that we get.
That's a great idea, because just popping in a few new windows, and I do say pop them in because we have local companies and they're so professional, and it makes such a huge difference, especially if you do have an older home. And we know these things are expensive, but I don't know if you heard what Matt was saying, free or low cost, obviously. And even if you're a renter, you can certainly inquire about this program, because they could reach out to the homeowner to see if you're a senior citizen renting a property, they might qualify as well to have that winterization. But it's definitely worth it. Those better windows will keep you cooler and warmer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I live in an old house, so I know, and I got the new windows some time ago. So, yep, it makes a huge difference.
It does. Yeah, yes. It does. Both on the cost, but also on the comfort.
Yes. So, and it's a good investment in the property as well. We're talking with Matt McCarty. He is the director of the Terrace at Ruby View, our senior and active lifestyle centers. We do at least once a month, and we're catching up on, now we're already sailing into July as we're getting through the month, and looking forward to, as you mentioned, we have 4th of July festivities, the fairgrounds, a lot of things. The Lamoille Country Fair is on Sunday.
That's
a lot
right.
to look forward to.
It's coming up just right around the corner. It is amazing. Looking forward to seeing what happens at the with the fairgrounds, of course, and then out in Spring Creek they have an all-day event that their Freedom Festival that they have is picnics and parades and games and activities going into fireworks in the evenings. So I love living in this area. Many of the past 10 years or so, I've been out of the area on Independence Day with Scouts, because as it happens, those are the days that we go on our week-long campouts. And so I've missed 4th of July for a number of years, and it'll be good to finally be home for one for a bit and spend some time with my family. So I'm looking forward to that. And we were talking about the weather and heat. I'm going to put a big plug in for fire safety as well. It was great to have the system roll in last night and get some rain, but of course preceding the rain was the lightning, and things do get dried out, and when we get those lightning strikes, we do have fires in this part of the area, part of our state, part of our country. So please make sure to clear space around your homes. Make sure you have that 30-foot wide safe zone. So we want to make sure that you're doing that. And the reason I brought it up this month is not only is it getting hot, but National Wildland Firefighter Day is on the 2nd of July. So we really appreciate our wildland firefighters. A little bit, of a little bit close to home on here, since I literally was raised in a fire station. My father worked for the Division of Forestry, and so we really understand what that's about with wildland firefighting, and we appreciate all of the folks that help us with that on the local, state, and federal levels in our area.
Yeah, everything we can do, because unfortunately a majority of fires are human caused, accidental, certainly in nature, but there's a lot of ways to prevent those accidental fires. You can get tips online at livingwithfire.info, and then I think fireinfo.org is where you can get active fire information too. So some really good apps or websites you can download or check out.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you, Matt.
Other things that I wanted to mention is that on July 17th, we're going to have the Nevada Department of Wildlife coming in. And last year, they gave us a series of different events. And this year, they're going to concentrate on just one event here at the center. And it's going to be local and native animal pelts and skulls. So that if you're out walking around or if you see something, then that'll kind of give that idea of what it is that you're looking at. Obviously, it's a little bit hard to bring in a wild coyote or a raccoon or something. So instead, they bring other things in, and that was one of the more popular ones last year. So please bring grandchildren or nieces and nephews or whomever you think may work for this. It'll be on July 17th. And that'll be in the afternoon, probably about 1 p.m. So we want to make sure that folks are aware of that as well.
Oh, that sounds great. We love when NDOW does their outreach in the community. And Pelts and Skulls, it does sound like a fun program for grandchildren, and it's free of charge.
It is free of charge.
Come and
we
have
appreciate
lunch
NDOW doing that. Yes. Yeah, come in, have lunch, and then be able to visit with some of our folks through our partners with NDOW.
Stay for that free program. Very cool, Matt. So Matt McCarty is in, and we're talking about, obviously, the Terrace, and Senior Games is a huge event for our area senior citizens. Things start ramping up next month, but it's just good to keep in mind that there are so many different activities. You can start kind of getting in shape now for that, right?
Absolutely. There are dozens of different Olympic games that folks can do. This year, all of the registrations are online. However, we have folks at the center that can help you, and we specifically, as the Senior Games, have specifically called out times and days where Miss Jenny Eckert or someone else will be there to help register for the Senior Games. The next time she'll be there is actually tomorrow. She'll be there from 11 to 1, and that's on Thursday, the 27th of June. And then she'll also be there twice in July. Once on the 9th, which is a Tuesday, and then again almost all day on Wednesday the 17th. The 9th will also be 11 to 1, so it's right around that lunch hour, and then on the 17th it'll be from 10 to 5, like I said, most of the day. And so we want to make sure that folks can get registered for this. At the Senior Center, it's 60 and better, but our Senior Games are 50 and better. And we have pistol shoot and basketball and all kinds of track and field. Pickleball. Yes, yeah, pickleball.
And that's going to be fierce.
Miss Faye does a great job with pickleball, and it is fierce. Yeah, they are very competitive. They want to make sure that they know that they're still out there being athletes. And
yeah, they've got their pickleballs rolling with the city, with the new facilities and everything. So about $50,000 committed to that, Matt. It's pretty cool to see them get things done.
It is.
Yeah,
absolutely. We are very happy for that. We have cornhole. We have horseshoes. This year we've brought back weightlifting. So we have weightlifting in partnership with the Last Rep CrossFit and Chuck Myers Jr. And so he's able to help us out with weightlifting this year. So we're really excited for that. There's also novice HIIT. And if you'd like things that are more perhaps exercising the muscle on top of your shoulders and get some brain games in, then we have both brain games and Jeopardy at the Senior Center as well. So all kinds of different things all over town, bicycling and the river walk, and it's just a lot of fun.
And a lot of great volunteers. Again, you mentioned Jenny. Thank you, Jenny, because she does so much, she and Jeff both, for the community. And they just are busy with their own practice and their business in the community, helping healing people, and then also reaching out and doing these nonprofit activities too, Matt. Very nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Great partners for the Terrace at Ruby View.
They are. They are amazing folks. And in fact, this partnership and how everything kind of intertwines and works together. Jeff was one of our racers for the Ruby Roubaix, which is part of the Morning Rotary Club, and so he was out there riding, and I got to visit with Jenny just a little bit and see her out there during last Saturday's event. And of course, Jeff also runs all of the bicycle events for the games. Wow,
that's fantastic! And how did the Roubaix go?
I think it went great. Of course, I was kind of right there, and I am not strong enough or have the fortitude enough to be able to ride even the 20-mile loop. But no, I think everything went well. It's called a gravel fondo, and Roubaix is itself named for a race in France. Roubaix, France to Paris, France, and it's mostly cobblestone. And so it is called a fondo over there. And then ours is a gravel fondo, which means basically it's just you're expecting dirt and gravel roads. So this year we did expand the number of miles that we had gravel, and it was a bit of a tougher course. We had a number of racers on the big loop that went down, and unfortunately one broke his collarbone. But he came back, and he stayed the rest of the day waiting for the rest of his party to finish riding. And
he'll probably be back next year too.
We are certainly hoping
they're
for
a
next
hardy
year.
bunch. Yeah.
Yep. And next year's our 5-year anniversary, so we're really hoping that it's going to be a really big event. We have gotten some amazing grants through the work of Carrie Aguirre and Jennifer Sprout. We have received grants from our local rec board, Elko County Rec Board, through the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority, through the Nevada Commission on Tourism. We've really gotten a lot we've been blessed with generosity for some of these marketing grants. So.
It's a very special event, and it brings people to our community that might not otherwise. And then when they get here, some of them don't want to leave. It's just so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Is Dr. Dinwiddie still working on it too?
Dr. Dinwiddie is still working on it. And Stuart, our very own Stuart Wilson, came in first place.
He did.
And not just for a category. We don't separate these out by age categories. And we'll just say that Mr. Wilson's above the 70 age limit, because I don't want to go too personal for him, but he came in out of all of the men in his route. And I think he was on the Pleasant Valley loop. So that was the 22-mile one. And yeah, he beat all these other younger guys. So.
Fantastic, Stuart. And that is so inspirational. And that's just the kind of community that we live in. That's great. Thank you for the update on that, Matt. I'm really pleased. And the Rotary Club, the Sunrise Rotary, right,
yes, ma'am.
And membership is open in Rotary. Toastmasters, I think, meets at the Terrace at Ruby View. You have several civic groups that meet there.
We do. Yeah, in fact, actually, the Noon Rotary is meeting there right now. And we do have our morning Rotary, the Sunrise Rotary, that meets on Thursday mornings at 7. They'll meet tomorrow. The Toastmasters meet on Friday mornings. And then Kiwanis meets in the afternoons on Mondays. So yeah, we have a number of different civic events that come and join us for lunch. And again, that's part of that need to expand because we're running out of different rooms.
Well, how nice to be accommodating for so many different groups. And they're all just toward one purpose, and that's to make this community a better place to live and helping one another. So
absolutely. And we are again thankful and grateful and blessed that they also help to support the senior center, because a little portion of every bit of their meal costs that come to the center, that helps with our program as well.
Well, Matt, thank you. That is just terrific. I was just checking out and make sure we're having so much fun talking about everything. Anytime Matt McCarty comes in, you know that we're going to be highlighting all the good things about the Elko community. And I want to make sure we're getting to what you were hoping to highlight during this visit. I know you'll be back next month. So
yes, ma'am. I also want to make sure that folks know about the Produce on Wheels. Produce on Wheels is through the Northern Nevada Food Bank, and they are very involved across Northern Nevada, and they come into Elko once a month with their Produce on Wheels. And we are one of their largest stops that they make, because they go to Fernley and to Lovelock, and they go all over Northern Nevada, as I was mentioning, and Elko is one of those that just is a really good stop for them. So we want to make sure that folks know that they can come up. It's again a program for our purposes that are 60 and better. There is some minor paperwork that you have to fill out so that you're part of the Northern Nevada Food Bank's database, so that they can kind of keep track, because it's all grant funded, of course. And so we want to make sure that folks know that. But it's the second Wednesday of every month. So in July, they'll be here on the 17th, and we are happy to see them come in for that. Now, keep in mind that the 17th is a little bit off because of the holiday, the Independence Day holiday. So it's actually the third Wednesday, but generally it's the second Wednesday. And then we're going to try to continue to partner with the Northern Nevada Food Bank. They've been very patient with me. They've given me the information that I need so that we can become a partner of theirs and perhaps have some senior food boxes that we can help to distribute as well.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Matt, for the update again. The Terrace at Ruby View is an active and senior lifestyle center, but it is certainly open to people of all ages. Anyone who wants to contribute, if you want to suggest new clubs, if you're looking for resources, references, referrals, whether it's legal help or medical assistance. Maybe you know someone that you're worried about, dementia, for example. You have monthly meetings there for that group, right?
That's right, absolutely. In fact, Dementia Friendly is meeting today at 1 o'clock. So if you're listening to this live, you still have, and you're in the Elko area, you have time to come on over and
they are so nice too.
They are so nice.
They are the nicest group.
Yeah, they do a terrific job. And then we also have an Alzheimer's support group that meets once a month. You mentioned legal help. Nevada Legal Services is there today. They actually are just getting ready to wrap up. And that's a wonderful program as well, because they allow folks to come in and talk about these legal issues that they may be having. Oftentimes it's something simple. They can help with a will or a power of attorney. Sometimes it's a little bit more complicated. And then for those things that are really, beyond the scope of the folks that can help here for free, they have attorneys that they partner with that they can get true legal help to represent in a courtroom. So we really appreciate Amy and her team that help us out with that as well.
Well, Matt, we talked about a lot of things today. I want to make sure we covered the ground you were hoping to.
I think we did. I want to wish everyone a very happy Independence Day. Enjoy your, as I mentioned in the newsletter, enjoy your family, your food, and your fireworks. We hope that everybody stays safe out there. And join us up at the center. We'd love to see you up at 1795 Ruby View Drive for lunch or for any of our activities. Don't forget bingo. Bingo's always a big one. So we'll have bingo on July 11th here in town and out in Spring Creek. Thank you so much to the Spring Creek Association. We'll have bingo out there on Wednesday, July 17th. Lori, thanks so much for, again, allowing us the time. And I hope that you and your family have a wonderful Independence Day as well.
Thank you so much. Matt McCarty from the Terrace at Ruby View.